Hello, everybody. Welcome to Fridays at 4 today. This is hosted by Color Vowel. I'm Karen Taylor of the Color Vowel chart. And today's topic is making the most of our virtual backgrounds. I made a little joke in my promotional text about moving beyond palm trees and beaches. But we've all kind of moved, I think, sometimes beyond that and sometimes not. If you're feeling kind of unfancy right now, that's okay, because those of us that have virtual backgrounds, I'm going to ask you with me to just take those away. Let's all, unless you can't, but I'm going to take mine away for a minute. You can join me if you want. We want to start with what it looks like when we've got just what we have. Here we are. Right? Hi, Anna. I feel so connected with you. Yeah. Doug, Anna, Karen.
Yours doesn't look that bad.
Tell me, everybody, who's new to a virtual background or just kind of feels unfamiliar? And what do you want to know? Yeah, okay, great. Because we're going to do that today. We're just here for a very practical session. I want to greet Kent. Good to see you, Kent. It's been a little while since we saw you last. Let me know, what do you want to know so far and what's holding? We know we could click around, right? But what do you feel holds you back? Can I get some thoughts from our group today? What kinds of questions do you have that might help us move into feeling more jazzy with clicking around?
Sometimes with virtual backgrounds, if I'm holding up a paper, it'll blur.
Yeah.
And that's like the disadvantage, is you have to have it, right here in front of your face if you are going to show something.
That is a great point, Karen. It happens to me a lot. You kind of forget and then you hold something up and now nobody can see it. So it seems like it's just better to stick with the real background so we have all of our true options. Okay, good. We're going to address that today. We'll have an option for you. Good. What else holds you back or has you questioning?
Well, I like the idea, like when people have the chart, and back then Suzanne has that, but I think actually, Suzanne, that might be the actual chart behind you, not a virtual background. But now I think she's done it where she has like the chart behind her. And I don't know, just like it's handy to have it there instead of like propped up, on something behind you.
Yeah.
Hey, yes. Anna, mine's virtual, Anna.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Which I think makes the point. It's that if, we want to have it, but we want it to look real. You want it to look that good, right? There are times when you can see virtual backgrounds, you think, oh, it really gets my attention as being super virtual. Any other thoughts as to, what you want to overcome today or questions you have?
I don't really use mine at all in a long time. And I don't even know what I should be using it for. So
Great.
see some options and maybe find out when and how I can use it better.
Great. All good points. Okay. Well, let's start with that then, Doug. It's sort of, why would I want to, other than the latest trend or that everyone else is doing it? So any thoughts to that? We'll kind of just start with a little brainstorming, because I'm going to start talking and then it's going to get, fast. But why use a virtual background? Yeah, Suzanne.
If you're teaching different groups of people and with different needs, sometimes I need the color vowel chart back there. Often I need it. Sometimes for some reason or another, I don't need it, or I don't want it for some reason. So if I'm doing a writing class, which I sometimes do online, I might not want that back there. So just to have the options to change out depending on your needs.
And yet I see you have a green screen behind you, meaning a green curtain.
I do.
Would you say that now that you have that set up, you probably hardly ever actually have it showing?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And another thing, that I do a lot of recording, and so I can change my background for recording purposes. So it's also really useful for that.
Yeah. Welcome to the cat, whoever's that is. I love the cat. All right. Well, before we get into virtuals, which we're about to, I want to just spend a moment with this look. This is my real, it's a real wall. This is paper. I know you can tell. But it's a beige wall behind it. And I use this because it gives me more contrast for when I use virtuals. So one of the key ideas is lighting is important, color is important. And this is actually a good rule of thumb just for any kind of being on Zoom, even if you don't use a virtual background. So let's talk about lighting. Part of what, I kind of left this as it is. You can kind of see this dark shadow over here. This can start to impact just the way somebody's able to relate to me online. And so I use panel lights. I'll turn one on for you. So there's some basic equipment that if you're going to record, suddenly, oh, my whole face is here. And I'm lit from the front. I don't have a shadow behind me. And that can help a lot already, just in terms of being visibly engaging to your audience. It doesn't have to be this thing called a panel light. Raise your hand if you want to know what it looks like. Okay, I'm going to use a little trick here. I've been playing with Zoom as well to kind of see all my options here. I'm very familiar with things like share screen and all that, but now I'm going to use my phone. There we go. Let's see here. Here we go. So this is now my phone. I'm using my phone as my camera in Zoom so you can look at my panel light without seeing the rest of my rather untidy office. So this thing is a panel light and it's on a tripod. Okay, it has an on-off switch. They're pretty affordable. So I can share that with anybody who's interested. But these, if you are making a career of this, and I'll change this back to me now. It's worth investing a little bit. It goes a long way. Okay. Any other comments on just lighting tips that anyone can share?
I've used like the TikTok ring lights. They make little tiny ones that are good. And then I have a desk lamp.
Great. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be those, any kind of
window.
forward lighting. This is nice because I have a small desk. So these stand on the floor and, it just allows me to turn everything on and off easily. Good. Okay. So lighting is going to be important moving forward because when you have a virtual background, you're always, you need to have enough contrast, as I mentioned earlier. So now let's go ahead, and this is an invitation, just try things in real time. I'm going to share with you where in Zoom you can go to change things. So if you would, I'll just use this screen capture of myself from earlier. Go ahead and click down on where the stop video sign is, but click on the caret that's next to it. And you're going to see choose virtual background and choose filter. Go ahead and choose filter for just a moment, would you? Choose your filter. When you get to your filter, I figure this is worth seeing. You're going to see a bunch of different options there. Let's see the filter. And go down to studio effects in the lower right corner. You should see some effects. Everybody see that? This is where, I know this is funny. Nobody wants to grab a virtual mustache or beard, so don't go there. Kent has a real one. He's all set. But otherwise, like, I don't know if we want that. But, especially women, I find it pretty handy. I spend a lot of time online. These are my real eyebrows. But what I do is I do check my eyebrow opacity, like I do opaque, and it just kind of helps boost my makeup a little bit if I didn't have much time and I wanted to put a little makeup on. But most importantly, the lips, they make you look alive. So check out the lip color, men too. It can just keep you from looking completely pallid, and you can play with the opacity. So here's an example. If you look at me with very red lips, there's no opacity. And now this is, for me, very uncomfortable to look at this. So instead, I would move the opacity down, and I happen to like a different color. So very natural looking, right? So you can play with that. That is part of the virtual spectrum, is simply knowing what Zoom can provide you with. Be sure to mention if you have any questions along, just speak up, okay? All right, moving along, now you can click at the top of Studio Effects. There's a little box above the eyebrows where you can apply to all future meetings, and you can close that, okay? You can then go to Virtual Backgrounds, and the virtual backgrounds are probably in that same box, Okay, if you click on those, go ahead and try one of the options. You'll see blur. So now I'm blurred. Nice, Karen. Nice now. Okay, this is handy, you know, if you're traveling. I take my laptop with me, and I just don't want people to have to see everything, or people walking by. I don't want their faces to be visible. So I'll use blur just as a way to make it look generic behind me, right? And Doug, this way, I'm thinking of Doug with your diplomas behind you. It's kind of, sometimes you don't want to have all that personal information just staring at people. So if you're somewhere sensitive, you can blur, okay? In the case of Susan with her chart, she probably won't want to blur, which kind of takes us to our next question is, how do I have one thing show and not the rest of it? Okay, so that's the next one. Any questions about these features? Okay. Now, the next thing you can do, and here's where I'm talking about free hacks. You know, I think everybody knows that I generally use a tool that allows me to do, oh, I'll take off the blur. That's weird. I'm now using a virtual background with Zoom blur, and that's strange. So when you use one, you want to turn off the other, right? So I use a tool that is paid, and this today is not about that tool, although I'll share it with you toward the end. This is a pretty sophisticated tool. I can do a lot with it, but I thought, you know, there must be ways to do this in kind of free ways, and we're going to do it with Google Slides. So if you would go ahead and assuming that everybody here is familiar enough with Google Drive to just open up a blank slide. And if you aren't, if you find it convenient, I can share my virtual background slides with you. That's fine too. So in fact, you know what, just for giggles, let's do this together. Here we go. I'm going to make one file for us. And over in the chat, I've just given you a link. Okay. And so we just add a bunch of slides here, and that way I can see what you might or might not be struggling with, or you can share an idea more easily. Okay. So we'll just do a bunch of slides here. And great. So here up at the top, this is a screen capture. Screen capturing is an essential skill in teaching online. If you're not sure how to screen capture, you'll want to find out, because it's a little different based on whether you have a Mac or a PC. Okay, I'm curious, how many of you are on a Mac? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Everyone else is on a PC? Who's on a PC? Is anyone on a mobile device? Okay. Mobile devices, I'm not sure I'm ready to stretch over in that direction. We'll just stick with laptops, desktops, and not Chromebooks. Chromebooks are also kind of a different animal. They're not parallel because they're not actually computers. They're like fancy tablets. They don't have a place to store things. So that's why I won't claim to be over in that world either. Okay. All right. So if you find out how to screen capture, does anyone have a question, like completely unsure how to screen capture? Or raise your hand if you can. Who can screen capture?
Can I just clarify? You're talking about taking a screenshot. Is that what you mean?
I am. I'm talking about how to take a picture of what you see on your screen, called a screenshot. Yeah. And I see Jody.
Snippet work?
Snippet might be the word. That could be a word. You're on a PC, Dawn? Yeah, they might be using that word. I could imagine that. Okay. Jody had her hand up a little bit. Do you want to say something, Jody? Good to see you here, by the way. She might be busy with kids. Okay. Speak up if you have something. So yeah, so screenshot or snippet is a way of taking a picture of something on your screen that you want to then use. Okay, and thanks for there we go. Exactly, Jody. So let me see let me get this right. Who's a Mac user who does not know how to take a screenshot? Great. Okay, Kent. Great. So Kent, to take a screenshot on your Mac, you're going to use Shift Command 4, 3 keys. And everybody can try that. I don't know if the PC users, if that'll work for you, but Shift Command 4, suddenly your mouse turns into a kind of a target plus sign with a bunch of numbers. And you can then click and drag. I'm going to take a picture of our beautiful audience right here, like this. And because I can, I'm going to go ahead and put this right here. I just dragged it up into my slideshow here in Google. You see that? That's pretty fun. Kent, if you want to practice, why don't you take slide 2 and you can practice taking a picture of something and then dragging it. The second you see it, drag it over into slide number 2. So I'll give you that little task while we talk. Okay, great. Who is a PC user who does not know how to take a screen capture or a snippet? Okay, beautiful. So I think now, and Kent, let us know how you do. Put it in the chat, okay? I think we all know how to take a screen capture. Yes? Okay, Susan? Is that a yes?
Okay, I think I've done it in the past, but I don't really know what I did. I'm not positive. It does
Good.
have this little print screen, and I think
Okay.
that's the button that I push.
Yeah. Print screen will take a picture of your whole desktop.
Yeah.
Who is more PC literate than me? I haven't been on one in a long time. Who can help us out with a tool, the snippet tool? Anybody?
On my PC, it's called Snip and Sketch. And if you go, it's under accessories, but if you go down to, there's like a little magnifier, you know, just type your search here. And if you do Snip and Sketch, yeah, it shows up as an app.
Mine is just snippet, looks like a pair of scissors.
Yeah. It depends on what version of Windows you have.
Okay.
If Dawn, if you can take a snapshot of your snapshot tool and put it over in slide 3, that'd be amazing. Sometimes these tools won't let you take pictures of them because they're tools for taking pictures of other things. So that can become strange. So don't be surprised if you can't. But if you can, it would be great to see that on slide 3. So slide 2 is Kent. He's working on that. Slide 3 is Dawn getting a picture of the picture taker.
I tried to put it into the slide, but it didn't work.
Okay, let me double check here. Check my settings. You're an editor. So you're in slide 2 trying, and did you grab the command shift 4 and you were able to take a sort of a snapshot of something?
I got a portion of it and then it comes up and I drag it over to slide 2, right?
Yeah.
And then I just disappears for some reason. The whole
Okay.
Google slide thing disappears. So
Oh, the whole Google slide thing, meaning the whole picture, the whole
yeah.
platform. Okay, let me, I'm going to do this. I'm going to show a desktop shot for a minute. Sometimes I really, get nervous doing whole desktops because I kind of forget what you can see. So I generally avoid this view, but I think I have no personal information up. But let's just say, everyone watch my mouse here, especially you, Kent. I'm doing Shift Command 4, and now I have this thing that I can see is a little different than my mouse, and I'm
Right.
dragging. Now watch. I see that picture, I grab it and I pull it here and it appears. Okay, so I'm now going to give you a new slide. I'm going to slide 3, and now Dawn is on slide 4. So this is your new slide 3 for Kent. Okay, Kent, you can try that again while we continue talking.
And so what am I going to drag over there?
Any picture of anything.
Oh, okay. I see what's going on.
I took a picture of this thing on, you can see I took a picture of anything. You can take a picture of us. Okay, great. I'm going to stop share while you're doing that, partly so I'm out of your way. But so that it's worth investing the time we have in making sure everyone's on board with managing exactly what they want to capture, because this is the foundation for everything else we want to do. Okay. Now I can see over here.
Would you like me to share the Snip and Sketch? I got an image of that.
Oh, sure.
could
Please,
move
Karen. Why
into
don't you
5.
also in slide 4 or 5? That's great.
Okay.
Okay. So part of what we're doing right now is worth noting too. We're using Google Slides as a virtual, a place that we can all look at the same time. And we can look at it right now, knowing that we're all there because of our anonymous, these animals up at the top, anonymous lemur and so forth. Let me show you what I'm pointing to, because that's what's lacking, right? Here we go. Oh, my little share screen's disappeared. 1 sec. Hey, good job. All right, so we're here looking at this Google slide. Up at the top, I can see that people are in it, but as a teacher, you could only see me mousing where I want to mouse if I am sharing screen, okay? That's when I can draw your attention to something like the word snipping tool. So share screen is another form of virtual, not exactly background, right? But it's still a virtual reality for us, kind of a classroom experience. But what we're doing here, let's move into slide 2 again. That'll be my slide for a moment. Okay, I'll get rid of this guy. Let's say now I'm thinking about backgrounds again. I would like to free my screen and use my virtual background for, say, a vocabulary building exercise. Because this moment where I have a screen in front of you, I'm actually being cut. My line between me and you has been cut until now. Now I'm looking at you again. I can really see you, and I can have more of your mental attention if my eyes are on you. And that's one of my main motivations of having this kind of a virtual background moment, is that I just don't want to give up this real estate. I'm afraid I'm losing people when I stay screen shared all the time. And I should be, because we lose people, right? I see the nods from various, right? Okay, so I want to, let's call this a vocabulary unit. I'm going to pick fruit because I don't, top of mind, I'm hungry or something, right? In my Google slide, what I love about this is you can insert a photo, insert image, and you have the world at a click. And it's a pretty good image search. So I can say fruit basket, for example. Now I have all these fruit baskets. It's a general unit on food or fruit. And so I'll just grab this one right here. Okay, great. Now what I can do is imagine this palette as my Zoom screen for a minute. The one that I appear in right now, this where I'm holding my hands. It's about this wide, it's about that high. I can imagine my Google slide in the same way. It's about the same measurements. So I don't need to worry, right? And so I can also imagine I'm going to be about right here. This is going to be where my image is in front of it. So I want it to be a little bit smaller. I'll resize it. And maybe I want to, if these are beginning students, if we're studying fruit, they're probably beginning students. I might want to give it a name and some context. So fruits, okay, or fruits. Let's just make it that. Okay. What's your favorite? I don't know. Maybe that's what I'm going to ask about. Okay. Or maybe I'll just ask one question. What's your favorite fruit? Okay. From here, all I need to do is screen capture, and then we're going to do something with that. So now we're moving into the next step, is depending on the kind of computer you're on, you have to know where your screen captures go. With Ken, I see you're still working on this. There's an experience with Mac users that when you screen capture, it kind of sits up on in the top of your view for about 5-7 seconds, and you can grab it and move it. But otherwise it disappears because it goes to the place where they go. So you need to know where these things go. Here, I'm going to take a screen capture. I'm going to stop share for a second. You can always exit, by the way, to get out of those. Stop share. I'm going to do my whole screen again. Desktop. Okay. Now what I'll do is do my screen capture of the entire slide. Entire slide. I'd like you to do that too. Okay, so here's mine. Boom. I took it. I see it down in my lower right corner. It's going to disappear. That's okay. I'm not freaked out. When it disappears, I know, because I know my computer and where these things go, I know that it goes to my desktop right here, my latest desktop screenshots. You can see that I do a lot of screenshots. It's pretty much my go-to for many and most things that I do online. Okay, so this is my screenshot. It was today at 4:24 Eastern. That's definitely the one. I could rename it. I'll call it fruit. Okay, and it is a PNG, FY, for your information, but we don't have to put that. Okay, now when I go back to Zoom itself, And right now I'm moving the Zoom around. Can you see the Zoom screen with you all in it right now? Yeah, that's a special setting. So if you have to teach online and you have to teach your learners how to do certain things in Zoom, who's had to do this before? Yeah, this is a setting within Zoom that allows you to show Zoom. And you do have to look for that. And there are other sessions on that kind of thing, or you can ask Zoom masters, who's a Zoom master, raise your hand and others can ask. But for now, let's just say to do what I'm doing right now, showing the actual Zoom screen is a special setting, okay? But I wanted to do that so I could show you. I'm now going to go to, here I am in my video settings, and I'll go to choose virtual background. Can everyone see my settings now? Yeah. Here, there's the very subtle plus sign. Yeah, very subtle. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to add an image. And I get the beach ball of death that's threatening our very success. Okay, good. And here we are with our desktop items. There's my fruit. Okay, you can follow along and do the same, because in just a second, now I have fruit behind me. Okay. Now what can I do? I'm going to go ahead and get out of this. I'm now looking at me. I'm going to stop share. Okay, so now I'm in the room and I can have what's your favorite. What can I do with this, level 2 people? I don't know, chant, rhythm and chant people. What can I do with a prompt like this? My hands are free and I can see you. Any ideas, Suzanne? What's your favorite?
Apples, pears, bananas. Apples,
Okay.
pears, bananas. You know me, I love it. 2, 3, 1. Apples,
Yeah,
pears.
so we could do a word-based warm-up, and now I'm pointing at words that elicit a vocabulary awareness. It's not just the sound of the word, it's not just the spelling of the word. In fact, I've removed that and I've got the thing right in front of me. And we could do a 3-word chant. So apples, pears, bananas. Apples, pears, bananas. Rhythm that we use is apples, pears, apples, pears, apples, pears, bananas. What color is apple? We could have a whole lesson like this, right? But now my hands are free. My eyes are on you. You can see me. We're all engaged. Questions so far? Nice job, Karen. Nice job now. Anna, I like your fruit.
Well, okay,
Right.
but it's backwards, and you can't see the letters, but I think the what's your favorite is also backwards. Like, so why
Okay.
did I do that?
Actually, you look backward to yourself, but we all see you correctly. However, your words are cut off. So what you want to do, let me go ahead and go into share screen all. Okay, so over here in your video settings,
Mhm.
you want to go back to virtual background. And there's an option to help me out, anybody, to mirror. There it is. Mirror, it says video. I'll talk about video in a second, but let's just see if mirroring. Yeah, doesn't matter. It's not video. It's whatever's up there. You see how this just switched for me,
So
Anna?
yeah,
you can
so
do
I'm
it too.
going back to, I have to get there. I keep losing the meeting. For some-
Sure. I'm sorry. I should remember who raised their hand for what. You're on a PC, right?
I'm on Mac.
Mac. On a Mac, if you've lost the meeting, you can click hit F3 and you'll see.
That's what I hit, and I see that, but I have post attendee. I'm not post. I should still be here.
I don't know. There's definitely a window hiding
Yeah,
somewhere.
so, yeah, I always
Can
get
you all
nervous when I
see-
have to click and go to Google Drive, because that happens all the time.
Okay, is everybody seeing all of my windows splayed out? Sometimes at the top, if you've been in a full screen share, you'll actually notice there might be 2 or 3 things up here in the dock. That is where you can find it sometimes. That took a while for me to realize, because I was presenting today, in fact, at a conference, and suddenly I forgot to leave full screen view, and then I lost my slide, and it was up here. Okay, I know it didn't take long, and I didn't
Sign
complain
back
about it.
in. That's what I keep having to do.
Okay, so
that's-
this is great. And again, I'll have to go back through this recorded session and see. I'm trying to make sure I don't show anything that is sensitive.
Karen,
Jennifer, yeah.
For Anna, did you reduce the Zoom?
No,
Did you hit, okay. Is it another tab on your Google Chrome browser if you're in Google?
yeah, it says post attendee. I have
And
three
you
of them.
don't have any other tabs along there?
No. So I just went back to the teachers community and I just clicked on the join the meeting here again. And now it's
Now you're in the meeting twice.
link.
Yeah, you are.
Now what?
You're
Now
in the
In
meeting
the meeting
twice.
twice.
Okay.
The other thing you can click on if you go down to your dock at the bottom is a thing called mission control.
The bottom of your whole screen,
Yeah, I
not just
see it.
Zoom.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, click on that. Sometimes that'll bring all your windows to the.
Nope. It's no. Oh, wait a minute. Desktop Zoom. Okay, here I am. Am I here?
Here you are. Okay.
And you've got fruit behind you. Yeah.
Right, and it's on the left. Yay.
Now, if your print got cut off, I would guess that you know, maybe you took a picture of something too small. You need to take a picture of the whole screen.
Yeah,
That's
the whole,
in the
the
Google
I did
slide.
that, but maybe it wasn't enough. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not. Okay, so we're not. Sometimes there are all kinds of little glitchy things we're not sure of, right? Good. So now I have. You can see everything. You can see my settings. Look at my settings, everyone. See if I can bring it to the front here. Ha. So in the past, you can see I've got the standard Zoom backgrounds that they give you. And then I have a couple of, I'll just show these in real time, right? I've got a couple of options for the color vowel chart. And these are options that we provide in the digital library. Okay. One is up high if you're standing. I don't like this because it's really high. And I mean, really, I could get like, I don't know, tennis elbow or something from all the work I do with the chart. I want to keep the chart for me. I sit. So I want a chart that is really going to work and fit me, right? Here's my chart.
Are
That
you
works.
doing it opposite?
Am I doing it opposite? No. It depends on what you mean by that. But what I can tell you is my right arm is out in real time. Okay. When I see myself, I see my arm off to my visual left field. So if that's what you mean by opposite, then yes, but I don't look at it like that. I look at what I see as me doing this. In my head, I zoom myself around 180 degrees all the time. And it's a mental trick that I use to not be confused by what you might think of as opposite. I don't even notice it anymore. My arm's going to the right, and on this picture, it's going to the left. Is that an answer to your question? Yeah. Okay. So it is, I mean, there's a point where our brains, we're becoming these very digital beings. We just have to have a mental trick for not having that distract us. Okay, great. So we have all these other slides down here. Now, what's neat about this, first, it's like, oh, which one am I going to choose? Which one will I use today? But I actually want you to realize, you see how it's instant. It switches in real time, right? So we can actually use these as the virtual background slides that we want in real time. So I have my fruits, I might have vegetables next, I might have shoes in the next one, or I might have a video. Let's see if it'll, I figured this one out last night because I've never used video before, but heck, let's get past the beach ball. I uploaded just a video. I didn't pay attention to how long it is. It's about, I think it's about 5 minutes long. This is young Karen about 25 years ago in one of my earliest lessons using color vowels. So, I mean, it happens to be this fun video. I'm not sure how much I'd want to show a video like this. Can you think of some reasons I might want to do this? Any ideas about how you might leverage having a video behind you? Maybe not this video, but I don't know, some other video. Any ideas? There's no sound, right? So that's different than sharing a video. It's not the same purpose. It's something else. If we want to really show a video, we'd have to share screen, check the audio option. I don't like something zooming around behind me. That's a little weird, but I could see some kind of a short clip that doesn't have audio, and using that as an idea generator for discussion, maybe.
So my very next chapter I'm supposed to teach has natural disasters. So we're supposed to cover flood, hurricane, what happens when there's a storm, you know, so I could have a storm behind me and say, what's happening? The trees are blowing, you know, all the things.
Yeah. Yeah. Now this relies on having the video. This is not a place where you can post a YouTube link. So you'd have to have the video, upload the video. And again, I'm looking for free options. If you're not going to go buying a fancier tool like what I have, okay, with that forthcoming. But essentially what we're doing now is using these options as real-time switcheroos that allow me to do things where my hands are free and my eyes are with you. Right? Is this interesting to anybody? I'd like to just kind of sit back and invite comments and questions at this point. Does this offer you anything new? It could just be a hand. Part of this is me exploring what we might want to put into a course if we do a tech tips kind of series. So if I'm only sharing things that you already knew about, then I'll want to know that, hey, I like that, Dawn. Keep clicking around, everybody. Don't stick with your fruit, right?
Karen.
Yeah, hi, Suzanne.
I use Zoom all the time, every day. I use screenshots all the time, every day, but I don't use them this way. So for me, I'm just trying to, you know, think what's the advantage of doing this over doing share my screen with a slide presentation. Now, I know you said you like the people there. I haven't faced any issues with having the people small and on the side while I share my full screen and I'm not in the view, but I'd have to think about how this is advantageous. It probably is in some, you know, in some lessons, but right now my slide share of a slideshow or my screen share of a slideshow works fine. So I have to think about this.
Yeah. Well, and it
Same
may
thing.
work fine.
I always just share a video or go find an image on Google Images.
Yeah.
In the moment.
Well, I want to say
as
it works
things
fine
happen.
for you. It works fine for you, right? We can get used to seeing, moving our gallery so we can see everybody. You know, I know how to make you all change. I'll do that right now. Here's the gallery. I can get rid of this guy. So if I'm presenting and you're just getting a glimpse of my desktop in real time, I can be sharing this part, you know, whatever my presentation is. I know that I'm a little square up here and I can see all of you because I'm smart and I've figured out how to do that, right? But my concern, and something I think we all need to think about, is engagement. Like, how engaging. I'm up in your right corner right now, actually. You know, how engaging is that with, say, a quiet audience? An audience that won't speak up much. Beginners. And is there maybe some advantage to changing the game by, now I'm stopped sharing and now I am in your face? You know, I'm the first. This is actually a big mental trick to do all of this because I have to keep remembering what you're seeing, right? So now I know you're looking right at me. And I think what I found in effective teaching is we get used to what we do and how we do it. And the third dimension is, what are they seeing right now? And how long have they been separated from me in the upper right corner? And how much longer can I afford to do that? Any thoughts on that?
It's a good point. I'm going to think about it.
Yeah. It's kind of like the teacher in a physical classroom. How long can they lecture before, you know, we're not going to hear a theme music that says, you're running out of time, they're going to get bored. But we know that there's a little timer going off in our minds, if we're good, that says, I can't talk for more than 8 minutes. And then I've got to do something practical with them. And so this is akin to that. It's changing up the screen so that You can get close to them. You know, that thing where you walk around the classroom and come up to the student's desk and you're really close to them because they were kind of nodding off. This is that. Yeah, I can't reach over and touch. I feel like I'm touching Suzanne's shoulder, and yet it never quite gets there.
Leave me alone.
Okay. All right. Other thoughts? Any technical questions if this has been a growth point for you?
Yes. So everyone has the same fruit. So I think, how do I get the fruit from that Google slide? Do I download it to my computer and then do I have to download it and then add it to my
No,
background?
Can anyone repeat the steps?
You take a screenshot. So you should have a screenshot on your computer. Didn't you take a screenshot of it?
No, I forgot about that. Thank you.
Anna, I love it because you're like, it was new for you. And you're like, didn't you do that? Now it's old hat for you. It's all normal. We can just do another slide for fun now, by the way. So let's just, here's Kent's, I'll borrow Kent's page for a minute. If we wanted to add a new picture, let's just repeat it so we can kind of internalize it, right? Let's search the web for our next thing, which would be puppies. Okay, so someone grab a puppy picture and put it in there. And who wants to volunteer to be the slide arranger?
You mean the discoverer of the image? Or
Yeah, go ahead and pick an image.
puppy?
Or go down, find a slide. Let's do it this way. Get a slide for yourself. Somebody's on 6. After 7, I'll add another couple slides. I want you to go find a picture of puppies that you like. And the game is to insert a picture of puppies, take a screen capture and make it your virtual. And the goal of the game is to have puppies that are unlike anyone else's puppies. There, that's my game.
Say that. What was the last part the goal was?
I want you to use insert image on whatever slide you're on, and we'll find out who you are. Who's on slide 6?
Never mind.
Okay, someone's on slide 8. I want you to find a picture of puppies. I want you to make a virtual background by making a screen capture. And the goal is that you pick puppies that nobody else picked. So I'm not going to show you which puppies I've picked. Here we go. They're adorable. Okay, we're going for puppies. And be sure to size it so that you can refer to it as an instructional object. Here we go.
Can
Going
you share
to-
that slideshow again? I wasn't here for the.
Sure.
Out of
Let
my
me just get my
chat.
virtual up here. Add that. Okay, great. Lynn, you need that link again, I believe.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't here for the original.
Yeah, here is the Google slideshow that we're using.
Oh, now.
I've got my puppies. Oh no, now and Suzanne have the same puppies. Wah, wah. All right, so you can keep, you could go back and do this over and over to get used to it. If you're looking, and I'm aiming for people who want to stick with free tools. That's sort of, if we know how to do a hack that's free, then when I introduce you in a couple minutes to the tool that I use regularly, if you choose to invest in it, you'll know what else you want to be able to do. But if this is all you want to do, you can do this in Zoom. Suzanne.
You don't have to go through Google Slides, do you? You can just take anything you take a screenshot of could go up
Yep.
here.
Anything at all. But the nice thing about Google Slides is A, you can find those images easily. B, you have a clear canvas that you can put them on. But speaking of canvases, you could go to Canva and create whatever you want as well, right?
Okay, but the screenshot has to be bigger than the image so that there's space for you in there. So that's the problem. And that's
Exactly.
what Google Slides would then solve for you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Exactly.
I missed that. How do I resize this thing?
So we're basically we take a picture of what we want. Here it is, Lynn.
Yeah.
And Google Slide is precisely the aspect ratio of your Zoom screen. So you do a screen capture of the whole darn
Oh,
thing.
the whole slide. Okay.
And then you're standing. So you could change the color of the background. You know, if I wanted, in fact, I'll hit escape.
Oh, yeah,
If
yeah.
I wanted this to be a color, like I want this to be black, okay, I now have a really, oh, dark purple. Now I've got this,
Got it. Got it.
and I like this as well. So now I'll grab my, I'm going to share my whole darn screen again. I'm going to sleep well tonight, I'll tell you that. It's a strange sensation to do this. So here's my virtual background. I'm going to add image, screenshot. There I am. There's my purple puppy background. And my hands are free, and I can look at you, and you can look at me, which, you know, that's the other part. How many of you are perfectly happy in the upper right corner because you really just don't want people looking right at you? Anybody feel like that? Yeah, Karen. We all have faces. This is the thing. If we can all indulge that part of ourselves that's just like, I just want to hide in the little corner. Your students really want to see you. You know, that's really what it comes down to. So I don't know. That's why I put on my virtual eyebrows to look, you know, extra good. Some days we don't wake up with our eyebrows, and so we just go to Zoom for a little help. Okay. Any other technical questions?
I don't have a technical question, but I have a technical learning point. Something I learned a long time ago using a lot of screenshots is that when you're capturing print, it will be a little blurry. But if you zoom in as far as you can before you take the screenshot, the print will always be clearer.
Nice. If we borrow screen 10 to, you know, let's just, are you saying like if I do something like this, right?
Yeah. If you can zoom in under fit, the word fit across the next, you see where it says fit, and you can
fit. Zoom
Yeah.
into fit. Oh, like this.
You can go bigger on the screen, like expand it and then take the screenshot. You'll get better resolution of any words that are in your screenshot.
Oh, that's fascinating. Okay, so something like this.
Yeah.
Okay, then I can do this. Take my screenshot and add it over here.
Yeah, it'll be clearer if you take the screenshot of a bigger part of your screen than if you take a smaller part of your screen.
Okay, I see. There we are. Okay, thank you. That's a great tip. When you start getting into text, that's when I work in Canva, especially. I mean, to be honest, I don't work like this to make my virtual backgrounds mostly. Although I did create this and this background in Google because it was easy. I just had to do it quickly. It had disappeared from the library. I mocked it up and did it, but I should have gone over to Canva. It would have been probably even better, right? Canva, if you're not familiar with Canva, is simply canva.com, and it's a free tool for many people. A lot of us pay because we have collaborators, we're a business. So, you know, they have a pretty robust free tool for the individual, and it's definitely worth checking out. Okay. I'd like to take a moment for announcements. Thank you, Jennifer, on the back end there, reminding me. I'm going to stop sharing my exciting screen here and just talk briefly about some upcoming events worth knowing about. Tomorrow, just spread the word if you know anybody who's interested in level 1 training. I've got a level 1 information session tomorrow. I'm going to share screen with you so you can see what's going on in the teachers community. Okay. We always benefit from a little visit over here. I'm currently in events upcoming, which is different than the homepage. Homepage only shows the next 2 events. I had a lot of fun, by the way, with Shannon Felt over here at the TEFL Horizons workshop today, conference. Right now we're here, it's live. Notice that you can indicate your interest in something, and that'll allow you to receive a 24-hour advance reminder with the link. Who receives those? Who's received one recently? Great. Suzanne, does that work well for you?
I was literally shopping today and I went, oh, I'm going to go home and watch this presentation.
Yeah, great, great. So I don't get to see what that little interested icon looks like, but once you do it, I can see, who's interested. I guess you all can't see, I don't know, but I have a special view, I guess, because I'm a, admin. But the point is, if you go to events over here, you'll get to see all of our upcoming events. Tomorrow, I have got a level 1 information session for anybody who's interested in that level 1 training journey. So you would tell colleagues about that. Okay, they'll walk away with a professional development plan tomorrow. So it's not just how the Color Vowel, concept works, but it really is like they're interested in training, and let's look at dates and that kind of thing as well. Okay. Jennifer and I are hosting a session on licensing and accreditation on October 12th. If you are a sole proprietor of your own little business, you do tutoring, or you're part of a school and you're interested in quality, like accreditation, licensing and accreditation play different roles, but essentially it allows for program consistency and quality, and for you to say that you're a Color Vowel accredited school. Licensing allows you to use our name and to show our images in public facing events. Okay, so that's a little session on October 12th. I've got another session October 12th, level 1 information, and Fridays 5 on planning a powerful lesson. I urge anybody who's been level 1 trained to come to this, because Lynn and I with Susan worked up kind of a new ending to the level 1 training experience. And I think you all will really enjoy it. Okay. So I'm kind of replicating that final lesson from level 1 for a Fridays, just to kind of see how teachers respond. And I'd love to see you there. Okay. As far as courses, I do want you to know, Jennifer's in the room. She's teaching a fabulous course on vocabulary development next week. If you haven't taken that, it's a really fabulous elective. And that starts what day, Jennifer? Is that Tuesday?
That's next week.
Yeah, next week.
I'm not thinking about it.
We're going to look.
Yeah.
I'm going to look. That starts on Tuesday at 11 a.m. Okay. So do know that that's waiting for you. What other announcements do we have? Should we talk about a conference, Jennifer?
First, I want to say, if you are a level 2 core trained teacher or a level 2 certified teacher, make sure that you send me a profile pic, hopefully square size, so that we can replace the current generic profile picture of you on our teachers list. So I think I need one from Anna. I think most other people here I already have. So yeah, so that's one thing. I wanted to talk about vocabulary. Also, we've got a new cohort of level 1 starting. And so please talk it up to your colleagues and share how it's affected your teaching, and encourage them to take our practicum. And I think that was all I had. But yeah, the conference planning is coming along very nicely, and you will be seeing in the coming days in the community and in our Facebook group, announcements about registration dates and things like that. Early registration will open the middle of the month. So we're getting all of that ready for you, and so keep your eyes peeled. And if you haven't reserved the dates yet, it's April 5th and 6th, 2024. We want to see you all there in Washington, D.C.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jennifer. We're going to be finishing up pretty soon, folks. Yeah, there's a little discussion over here about Canva. If you haven't checked out Canva, go to YouTube and just, watch a video about how to use Canva. A lot of times those latest videos are they're kind of short, and they'll light up your imagination with what's possible. You can decide how much it offers to you. Okay, I'm just reading some of the messages over here. Yeah, we are looking at having a technology course specifically for folks who feel like they're out of their depth. So if I'd be interested in hearing from you, not only that you're interested, but if you're feeling like, technology is always kind of that you're not quite keeping your chin above water, I'd like to know that you feel that way, and what kinds of things are your pain points? Like what blocks you right now? Because technology skills growth is all about solving the immediate problems in order to grow outward. You can't jump from here to there unless, you have to grow those skills in a linear kind of way. Okay. Oh, am I going to show? Okay. So that said, you know that I'm thinking about offering a course in 2024. I did promise that I would show you a little bit about and we have a couple of minutes. Who uses Anybody? It's called It's the worst name for a product ever made. Yeah. Because I talked to Now the other day and I said, what are you using? And she said, And I said, no, what are you using? And I introduced her to this product. I know its name. So I'm going to write it in the chat. It's horrible. I kind of know the people who made it. I know it through a friend of mine in the tech world. And when he wrote it to me, I thought, that's trouble. They should have talked to the linguists. But it's often called Studio. Okay, you can Google that. What's neat about let me share screen. Desktop. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of my virtual background in Zoom because it's overriding my camera. I'm going to use that word camera because we're about to expand what a camera is. If you start off by thinking of your camera as the little circle on your device that's staring at you, that is one camera. But I have other cameras. So I will now turn off the virtual. Oh, remind me, how do I turn it off? None. There we go. None. Now my camera is showing you this virtual background, and it's not using the camera. It is using the circle, that is a lens, but it's not using the software that is my computer. It's using a different thing, and that different thing is Let me show you 3 real cameras coming out of the same lens that I'm looking and pointing at right now. Okay. We're really just developing the notion of camera. So under stop video, you see all these different cameras. These are the cameras. If I turn off I have to pick something else. I'll go to my FaceTime, which we started with. So this is what my computer offers me. It just is a real view of what's in front of that lens. What's the next one? Ooh, Dawn disappeared. Okay, the next one is my Ipevo camera. I happen to have a, I'll show it to you before it becomes the camera. This is my document camera. I do love it. I keep it off to the right, and I'm about to turn everything off. I'm going to make it, hold on here, hold on. There we go. Now, my document camera happens to be right over my jar of water, okay? But it's a camera. I can use it as a camera, or I can use it as something that I screen share. I'll let that just sit there for a sec, right? So you can't see me right now. I'm not in the upper right corner now because this is my camera. If I pick this up and point it at me, you see me upside down. Okay, there I am. It's a real camera. Okay, so I'm no longer in up here because I'm not screen sharing. Okay, so I use that when I want to show a color vowel organizer and I zoom in, etc. Or if I'm making a video of this, Lord, and I don't want myself in the upper right corner. It's my camera. I can come here again. I'll make this whole thing much bigger so you can, I realize you're looking at a lot of tiny things. Okay, I'll do that. All right, here's my camera one more time. If I go to my iPhone, as I mentioned earlier, it now actually connects to, watch this. This is super fun. And I can look at me. Okay, so there it is. And I can do all kinds. I could do a walkabout, in real time with my phone. Isn't that cool? Okay, so that's a camera. You do have to work on your settings to give permission to your 2 devices to do this. Okay.
Bluetooth connection?
Yeah, it's a Bluetooth connection.
Android as well?
Should I don't know. I don't know how Zoom feels about Android. So you'd have to experiment. it might do very well. Does anyone know?
Well, it works because Karen's got a Mac desktop and an iPhone, and they play very nicely together. So you would have to see what the sharing capabilities of your phone with your PC are.
So, okay, it does help that my desktop and my phone are of the same maker. Okay. Desk view camera, iPhone users, this was super weird. I don't even want to show it to you. I do not understand it. It shows a very strange view that I won't start to get into. But let's go to mmhmm. Okay. Before I show you mmhmm, you already know what it looks like. This is mmhmm, right? But now you want to see the whole thing. And so here's mmhmm Studio. Can you see the studio? Can you see this dock of slides that I'm sliding over?
Yeah.
Oh, this is beautiful. Sometimes, again, I wonder about the settings and whether you can see that. Great. Okay, so you can see. Go away. All right. Oh, it's interesting. It won't get wider. That's what's odd. Okay. Okay, everybody sees my mouse tracking over this rectangle with mmhmm at the top, correct? Yes, good. All right, what's neat about that? Let me take a screen capture of our beautiful group. So let's go ahead and smile with your puppies. Here we go. Hello, everybody. Here we go. And I can grab that slide and stick it in here in real time. So what that means is that I can look at student work and I can screen capture what I see in student work. And now I can point to Suzanne and her puppies. And I can go down here and talk about what Karen did in this paragraph right here, what have you. As a better example of that, recently I taught a course with a spreadsheet version of the Color Vowel Organizer. This was the week 1 vocabulary that the learners entered. Okay, so now this was a particular learner, and I wanted to go through. This was a real reason I wanted to go through to talk to her about her color assignments, and I think. I don't know, I can't remember. Maybe I already made the correction. So I won't remember what the correction was. But I wanted to zoom in on exactly this so that I could point, right? Because if you're doing this this was all in Flip, I didn't want Flip because they don't show my mouse very big. It's a very tiny mouse if you use the screen share. So we're getting into, different technologies and what they do well. And I just wanted to record a video here in Zoom and upload that to Flip because it was the best way to do it. And then she knew exactly what I wanted her to do. It's not live, right? If I want to work with this tool in a spreadsheet live, I'll do screen share. But if I really want to look in at the particular words or whatever it is that she put in, I really like putting it up behind me. So that's one beautiful thing about, you can see I have a limitless number of slides, right? Whatever it is I'm doing, I can show Blue Canoe. I can orient them to, here's everybody who's going to take a volunteer and play this word. I don't have to use the cards anymore. I can just show these screenshots, right? I could ask now to take a turn with these cards, and student now would unmute. It's your turn. Go ahead. Black cat fascinated. That's fast.
So sorry, I can see.
Yeah, it's so tiny because I'm not spotlighted. If I spotlight myself, I can, now I'm really in the classroom. There we go. Can you see that now?
Yes.
I love this moment though, because, remember, I'm screen sharing the whole desktop and I forgot. So I'd have to, come back up and say, stop. Now you can see me. You take your turn now?
Okay, just a moment. I have to pin you.
It should be spotlighted for you.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, it is spotlighted. Isn't that interesting?
Okay, so now get black cat fascinated and black cat annual.
Good. So I'm watching now. I mean, this is all that idea of I'm in my head and I'm trying to be in Now's head to know what she's having trouble seeing. And that's the kind of level, it should be exhausting to teach online because we should be paying attention to that. It kind of makes the point. You know, maybe I want to just skip out and do my phone share and show Blue Canoe that way, right? So these are all choices, everybody, and I think that's kind of a good place to wrap things up. Is you know, a variety of other things. I've got all kinds of great backgrounds here. I can just pick them in real time. I can take these off completely. I can change the size of me so that I can be relatively small or big compared to the content. So here, let me just, it's all about choices. Okay. I'm sort of having a technical problem with right now, actually. There we go. So you can have some fun, but you can also really be very creative with what kinds of slideshows you put together, so that you keep that face-to-face relationship. Okay.
And that's a fee-based program, right?
It is. It's about a little over $100 a year. And so I'd recommend it for anybody whose business it is to have high quality interface. And not to say that anyone who it's not a business that you don't, but it would be a reason to spend money, right? You want to justify it. But that said, if you have an extra $100 lying around, it's pretty cool tool. Okay. Well, you all look very pretty with your new virtual backgrounds and whatnot. I like your fruit, Anna, and Karen, your puppy's cute. Lynn, I see you with a different virtual background. Any kind of outcomes or changes, just a new thought that you might have as takeaways today?
Yeah, how about these eyebrows? Talking about important things.
Hey.
Yeah.
They look very natural. They look great on you. I didn't even notice that they were zoomy eyebrows.
Yeah, I'm just
What
kidding.
else?
That's not really the most important thing.
Is it that lets you move those icons around? Or
like what? Tell me more.
Something, I guess, that happened on Tuesday, something you did in the Tuesday PEP about actually moving the color vowel icons into things that were on the slide, because when we take a picture of it, it's set and we upload it as a background.
Yeah. No, I would say anything that I did in pure English practice, and I'll just pull it up, is definitely I use Google Slides for that. And so here, I use the same slideshow. I just keep adding and adding slides to it. So chances are, you know, like you're maybe thinking about this warm up, Dawn.
Maybe. Where do you, are those something that you purchase or that are in the digital library?
These are in the digital library for all Color Vowel level 1 trained certified teachers. So that includes you. They're waiting for you.
It's just like a Google Slide document download?
Yeah, it's not a download exactly, but you'll get access to something. Right. I'll show you exactly what you get access to. You get and this is the actual. It's this file. And when you get to it, it won't, you won't have editing privileges. You'll go to File.
Make a copy.
Got it. Go back. Okay, you'll go to File and you'll go to Make a Copy. And if you want to download it, you can download it as whatever, PowerPoint or PDF. I don't recommend these other formats, okay? If you use Google Drive, simply make a copy and get to know your drive, organize your drive. So, you know, like if you do the entire presentation, pay attention to where you were putting this. That's always, you know, a challenge. I know. I mean, for all of us, paying attention to that. Okay. Yeah. So we offer a couple of instructional videos about how to use that, and a couple different formats. I want to thank Now, by the way, acknowledge Now in the room. She gave me the idea of the palette and I thought it was great. So we put it together. So you can have a bottom page palette or a side page palette. I like to keep it like this. I just copy and paste. So I do copy paste real fast and use them. Or you can make multiples and just have them all stacked there like that and have a bunch of them, like a stack of them. Okay. Lots of ways to decide how you want your palette to feel. So it's just a matter of the tech and feeling comfortable. Okay. Does that answer your question, Dawn?
Yeah. And that would also be then shareable with students if you wanted them to mark up something.
Right. I mean, what I do in real time, I'll invite people to participate in an activity. And we can move things around. just know that we do appreciate you keeping these as your instructional material. Having students participate in a slide is great. We do ask that you not distribute. Okay. Thanks. Hey, everybody, super fun. I like all the variety that I'm looking at. Kent, I saw your comment. I know, you know what? I think we all feel like technology is hard. The one kind of advice I can give, I was a technology trainer 20 years ago in Virginia. And what I found is we all feel like this, and every day you kind of have to remind yourself, why not click somewhere? Just don't be afraid of clicking, right? Click, see what happens. It's all left over from the old days when we felt like if we clicked the wrong thing, the whole computer would be erased. And that's really, I mean, really, all of us in the room are that age where we remember those things happening. But we're now in a world where you could just like, I'll just close this window and it'll be fine when I open it back up. So, you know, remind yourself of that and join us. We'll have more of these kinds of sessions. Okay.
I had fun.
Great. I did too. All right. Thanks everybody for being here. We'll see you soon. Remember, March 5, March 6, Washington, D.C., cherry blossoms. We're going to have so much fun at Planet Earth.
Sorry.
April,
March?
April.
April.
What did I say? What did I say?
March.
March, April.
April.
I
Please.
think I need some water. I'm a little dehydrated. But yeah, so thanks for correcting me. April 5 and 6 of 2024, not 2029. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Who already knows they're planning on going? Raise your hand. Yeah, good. We have folks coming all the way from China. We have now coming from Japan. We're gonna have a blast. And it's so know that we're working on the registration page. We should have it up by the 15th of this month. Okay. Wonderful. Have a great evening. Happy weekend.
Thank you.
Stay safe and healthy. Bye-bye.